in hospice care. So I was in Philly in the house I grew up in. And I remember it so clearly because it was the last really piece of good news that my mom received. And she was still talking then, and she was quite ill, but it was so miraculous that something happened with a plane in New York City that was good news and that everyone lived. And we talked about it at length and in wonder and gratitude. So I'll never forget the day it happened.
So, flash forward, I guess, a couple of years, 2009, the book by Sully comes out, gets picked up very quickly by some producers, and then connect the dots of how you heard about the fact that there was going to be a film and how you ended up being the guy that was going to write it.
Well, it's all the grace of God. I feel incredibly blessed how this came together. John Berg, who used to be my business partner when we produced Elf together, he was now an executive at Warner Brothers. And he sent me a clip, and it was about Sully's book being optioned by Frank Marshall and Alan Stewart. And he said, "You should write this movie." And so I thought, oh my goodness, I have an in with my buddy at Warner Brothers. This is going to be fantastic. And I said, "Is this a Warner movie?" And he said, "Oh, no, way too small. Warner Brothers is not going to make this movie." And of course, 6 years later, WB is the last thing you see on the end of the credits, which is a nice irony. So I asked my agent to set me up to pitch for the movie. I was the first person to pitch for the movie. And it was, we've all had those pitches where everything just worked. Every joke, every dramatic twist. I was on the phone in New York City. It was 30 minutes of just listening, and I just felt so good about it. And at the end, Frank Marshall said to me, "I feel like you tapped my brain and said out loud the movie that I see this to be." And at the end of the call, it was almost everything except checks in the mail. I've never felt better about a call. And that call was followed by 4 months of total silence. And when I say total silence, it's as if the call had not occurred. There was no "good job," there was no "you're in the mix." My agent didn't even hear. My agent sat next to Frank Marshall's agent in the office, and he had no word. So I had given up on it, and they clearly, during those 4 months, were talking to many other folks, and fortunately, they surprised me with the call, and they said, first was our favorite, so we're going to go with you.
So why do you think